Hey Insider, in today's video I want to discuss with you something personal of which I've not shared with a lot of people, which is in regards to a heartbreak I went through which really made me stay down for many months, and the lessons I learned from that, of which today I'm going to break down to 3 ways that you can overcome a heartbreak. In fact, I wish these were the steps, the ways I knew when I went through the heartbreak I went through. And if right now you're going through pain because of some sort of relationship breakup, whatever it may be for you, I just want to remind you of the fact that it too shall pass. My hope is by the end of today's video is it allows you to really own yourself and give you the strength and the courage to persevere and realize that this too shall pass. You will look back on this one day and you'll realize why you've gone through it. As after all, life is there to support you. It's happening for a reason. Without further ado, Insider, let's go on to the first way, which is about realizing that there is a timing for everything. Now, my heartbreak happened when I was in university. I was dating a girl, and it was one of the first times in my life where I felt like I was truly in love. I'd had casual relationships in the past. I used to be very shy when I was growing up, and as a result, the girls I used to get in the past, it wasn't ideally my type, but I was very desperate just to get a girl, let's say, and this is why when I got to university and got into this relationship, this was my ideal type. And so I felt very fortunate in a way, and quickly things took off. Within the first year of starting university, I was in a very committed relationship. And after the second year, things were going strong, and it was around at the end of that year where things began to really fall apart. It was all of a sudden, because we were almost like in a bubble, and one day that bubble popped. What ended up happening was she wanted to go on a student exchange program abroad, meaning she would be now away from where we were living at the time. I was studying in London, and she wanted to go out to Netherlands to study out there in a place called Groningen. And the moment I heard that, because I was so attached to her, and this is one of the big lessons I learned, because I was so attached to her, I felt like I was going to miss a part of me. I felt like part of me was going to go away. And as a result, what did I do? I began to hold on. And I tried to convince her not to go out there and study. I tried to convince her to stay in London. And the more I tried to convince her, the more she wanted to push away and go out there. Eventually, she did go out there. And I felt so hollow inside, and I began to almost rage with anger because I didn't really know how to cope with this. I put all of my, let's say, heart on the line for this relationship. I'd not built up my mental fortitude or personal development to the level it is today. I didn't really self-love myself to the extent that I do today. I honestly felt like the other half is now missing. That's a problem I find with a lot of people today. They call their partner the other half. If you look at that from an analogy point of view, metaphorical point of view, you're literally saying you're missing your other half. This is your other half. When in fact, today I've realized it's about getting yourself to a level where you realize you are the other half. When you've got your cup full, you can get somebody else, meet somebody else with their cup full. And that way you're not trying to fulfill each other's insecurity. You're there as 2 strong souls. And this is something that I didn't have at the time in regards to my level of personal development. So the moment she went out there, I felt the need to rage, and I remember every opportunity I had to Skype with her, I would always ask a question such as, did you see another guy? And I just used to get very jealous, and all of the negative sides of me began to show up. It wasn't long until we went through a very deep conversation where she decided it was best to end the relationship then and there. And I remember in that moment, my whole world felt like it sunk in. I felt like I've lost literally my other half. I didn't know what to do myself. I felt like I was in a dark hole and I couldn't get out. The only thing I could think of at the time was to go actually see her out in Netherlands, because I thought she was making an irrational decision. So I actually made a bold, audacious move to actually go out there. I jumped on a coach, which took around 24 hours to get to the place she was living in Netherlands called Groningen. And I basically was stood outside her dorm that she was staying at, And I called her mobile phone and she picked up. And I said, hey, have a look at the balcony. And here I was in my little model of the world thinking she'll be ecstatic to see me. The moment she saw me, when she was stood on that balcony and I was on the ground floor, she looked really shocked. She came out and she said, Tim, you got to go home. I was really taken back. To cut the long story short, I ended up heading back in another 24 hours on the coach, and I had so much time to reflect. Being an introvert, I love to reflect, and this was a moment where I began to journal. I was on my phone and I still got these notes to this day. And I was saying to myself, whatever hell I'm going through right now is there to shape me. The pain I'm going through is there to help me to best live the life I want to live tomorrow. And it was the first time I fully began to trust in myself that I can make it happen. It feels terrible right now, but I told myself, you know what? I need to experience this pain in order for me to experience the pleasure. Because if you've never been down, you don't know what up feels like. And I began to love myself. I began to own myself. The first way is to realize, like I mentioned, to trust in the process, trust in the journey, and realize that there is a timing for everything. Because the second thing that I began to do, which is the second way, is I began to work on myself. The moment I arrived, after literally I spent almost 2 days, 2 whole days on a coach where I didn't even sleep properly. The moment I arrived, I touched down into London, I felt this like insane amount of energy. It was crazy. I remember I went to the gym, I worked out for like so many hours and I just got all of that anger and pain out of me. And it felt amazing because I just felt like I was nourishing myself. It's like what my body wanted, it's what my soul wanted. You see, if you're going through pain right now, you've gone through a heartbreak, you want to begin to realize you got to get your cup full. This is a sign for you. If you're feeling that pain, you feel like you're missing your other half. Meaning you want to get yourself to a level where you are the other half, because I want you to realize this inside there. And this is something I wish I told myself in that moment. This is something where I wish I acknowledged much early on. You got to realize that you are responsible for the amount of love that you will receive in your life. What that means is a person looking at you in the mirror. When you look in the mirror every single morning and night, that's the person who'll give you the most amount of fulfillment. That is the person that will give you the most amount of love you'll ever experience. I had so many rules in the way that's preventing me from feeling like I was good enough. I have so many rules I enforced on my life in regards to when I feel happy, when I feel loved, when I feel all of this. And through this experience of going on that long coach ride, I got to the end and realized, who made these freaking rules? I felt so depressed, I felt all of this, but then I realized through a breakthrough moment, that was me that decided these rules. And because I decided these rules, I've also got the decision to make. I've got the choice to choose something new. You see, most people out there, we make it so hard for us to feel the feelings we want to feel, and we make it so easy for us to feel the feelings we don't want to feel. The person who decided when you feel happy, the person who decided when you feel love is you. And so if you're feeling pain right now, realize you've decided to feel pain. And this may be something that you don't want to hear right now, but this is something that you need to hear. Reframe this. Ask yourself, what good can come out of this experience? How can I grow? Because if you look at the times in your life that you've been shaped the most, it's not the times when you're sitting back on the beach sipping margaritas. It's the times in your life where you've been tested. It's the times in life when the storms are coming in and you're running out of luck. And you're saying to yourself, I don't know what's happening. If you look back at those times in your life, you'll thank yourself right now. You'll be like, thank goodness that's happened, otherwise I won't be here. And although this feels like the storm period of your life, I want you to realize 6 months, a year down the line, when you may have found the ideal partner for you, you'll be saying to yourself, thank goodness as well. And so whilst the storms are here, I want you to change the meaning of pain. Because most people have associated pain with negativity. Most people have associated with sadness. But that again is a rule that you've imposed on yourself. Pain, problems are often gifts in disguise. The problem is the gift comes in wrapping paper you may not want to open. If you have the courage to ask yourself what goodness can come out of this experience, I can promise you this, my friend. You're going to grow stronger than you ever can imagine. And that goes on to the third way, which I began to do, which is I began to develop myself. You see, the more you develop your mental fortitude, not only is it going to improve the way you handle any setbacks like heartbreaks, but it's also going to improve the other pillars of your life, your health, your wealth, your love and happiness and so forth. Because the more you understand your inner world, the more you can master the outer world. Because you cannot change what's happening out there. You cannot change if somebody turns around to you and says it's over. You cannot change the external circumstances to a point, but you can change how you're going to react to it. And that's all determined by how you see the world. As a great saying goes, when you change the way you look at the world you look at changes. So when you change the way you look at this heartbreak, the heartbreak you look at changes. It's a blessing in disguise. This is what I want you to realize deep inside. You know what, when I went through this, it sucked. I know how much pain you may be going through right now, and I just want to say, I hope this video has helped today. Even thinking back for me, I feel emotional in regards to what's happened. But I look back now and I thank my previous partner for the pain I've gone through. Because I've realized I've grown. I've transformed into the person I believe I was born to become. The lessons I've learned through that breakup, if I hadn't learned it, I could have screwed up even bigger. And so I'm at the point where I've truly forgiven my previous partner, and I wish her all the best. And that's what I would wish upon you, insider. Do whatever it takes, my friend, to overcome this. And I hope you found this video helpful, by the way. If you have, be sure to share this video with your friends and loved ones, because I believe life is all about paying it forwards. So make sure to share this video. If you found this video helpful, if you're going to take action on it, be sure to like this video and comment below in regards to any questions, feedback you may have. It would be great to hear from you. And as always, my friend, follow your heart, my friend, and take action and go live the life you're truly born to live. I'll see you on the next video soon.